7. Karl Brunström, Roland Evert, bord 3. Stefan Lundin, Henrik Jutsen, bord 8. Andreas Palin, Martin Löfgren, bord 11. Jimmy Alikans, David Lundesjö, bord 10. Erik Lindqvist, Fredrik Johansson, bord 5. Måns Wahlström, Andreas Palin, bord 12. Christer Ersson, Albin K, bord 2. Anders Boberg, Jonas Jonsson, bord 14. Jenny Roos, André Israelsson, bord 6. Rolla ner.
Ja.
David Günther, Joakim Mattsson, bord 13. Hansson, Magnus, bord 4. Vill du öppna upp Dalaslaget på den och sen öppnar du eller laddar ner? Öppna Word, kanske blir bra.
Vad ska vi ha?
Schemat. Visa...
Ja, men vi har det här annars.
Ja, men scenariot då menar jag.
Jaha.
Scenariodokumentet.
Så kan jag göra det. Ja, du får leta.
Ja. Vadå fel bord på alla? Ja, självklart den högra siffran. Allihopa, jag var otydlig, jag ber om ursäkt. Det finns 2 kolumner. Den som är kolumn C är ert bord, inte den längst till vänster. Titta igen. Ja, det vet jag väl.
Niklas? Du tända er.
Martin, var är min väska som var här? Ryggsäcken?
Är det kameran?
Ja.
Här. Där vid cementplan. Man går nog bra. Hello and welcome. I think everything is working out fine. I don't know if you can hear me, but hopefully everything is set up correct here. Yeah, it should be. We're just working out the last nicks over here to get the sound correct and everything. But our plan for today is to stream 2 tables at least. And we have one jungle themed and one high elf themed that we are gonna be able to stream. But going into the tournament itself, the first match is battle line, so regular deployment, 24 inches apart, and nothing fancy, just a warm-up game pretty much. And we have 28 players for the tournament, divided into 1 Empire player, 1 Tomb Kings, 1 Skaven, 2 Vampire Counts, 2 Wood Elves, 2 Dwarfs, 3 Ogres, 3 High Elves, 3 Dark Elves, 3 Lizardmen, 3 Warriors of Chaos, and 4 Demons of Chaos. Our Jonas is gonna be playing on table 1 with his Demons of Chaos versus Warriors of Chaos. And on table 2 we are going to have Niklas versus Robot, and it's Ogres versus High Elves. They're just now setting up, but we'll see if this works. If I can make the correct one over here. This should be fine.
Fick ni någon lösenord för Cosmos? För wifi här?
Vet inte, hör med Niklas där. So the table on the left is Jonas versus, I should check his name. Oh. I have a third screen over here. There we go. I'm trying to figure out the standings, the tables. We have Jonas Jonsson on table 1 versus Anders Moberg. And then we have Niklas Ljungberg versus Robert Jönsson on table 2, the High Elves table. And the scenery is printed and painted by a guy named Eric, who has a company working with terrain. He also he designed the table on the left, and I think the table on the right is bought STLs that he printed out. I can see if I can find the lists. Hello, Jeremy. Please let us know if the sound or image quality is weird in any way. We have a bit of a wonky setup. I don't know if you can see it over here, but my cam holder broke, so we made a new one out of cardboard. So it might be a bit weird. Thank you very much, Briscoe. We really enjoy doing this and covering the tournaments as good as it goes. Let's see if we have. I can see there is a bit of a delay on the stream, but that's good, I suppose. No Bretonnian armies. No, that's right. There's no Bretonnian armies, no orcs and goblins, no chaos dwarfs, I think there's someone I'm missing. No Dogs of War. There's been a pretty good spread so far on the tournament, but this is the least diverse army lists I've seen. Today we're playing 8th edition. Today and tomorrow. So our plan is to stream game 1 up until lunch, and then we'll stream game 3 this evening, and we'll stream the final tables tomorrow about after lunch something. We have a schedule over here. I can see if I can put it up. There we go. So this is like the entry point to the venue. You go through sort of a cave with a coat room, and you arrive into a floor, a seating floor. So we have André over there. He's waving. And I think we can see the back of Mon's t-shirt over here, where he is playing. I think he was facing off. I can look that up. Mons is facing off against Andreas Landin. who is playing something that I should zoom in to watch. Could it be? It has to be Dark Elves, right? And there we have one of the organizers, Daniel, playing against Lars. See if we can sneak a preview on the table. This again is one of the most beautiful tables. It's Erik who has provided the terrain for the tournament. He makes these fantastic jungle themed terrain pieces. And then we have table 1 and 2. They're starting to place their armies, I think. Hi from Taiwan, looking forward to seeing some fun games. So if I've done this correctly, I should be able to see Jonas' list. Jonas on table 1 is playing. I should be able to do this. Jonas is playing a Keeper of Secrets, a Herald of Slaanesh, a Skull Taker, Mask of Slaanesh, and he has 1 unit of Bloodletters and 1 unit of Demonettes of Slaanesh, 5 Blood Crushers of Khorne, and 10 Seekers of Slaanesh, and a Skull Cannon of Khorne. And he is facing Anders Mubai. I will see if I can get his list somewhere. The lists aren't exactly named correctly, but it could be. I have to check if he has the trolls. No, I can't find his list, unfortunately. Sorry about that. But he's playing Warriors of Chaos, and I think I see a Demon Prince and 6 Trolls, a Gorebeast Chariot, and 2 larger units of something that I don't know what it is, unfortunately. We might get a recap on that one. The table on the left with Robot and Niklas. The Robot on the right hand side in the blue shirt, he's playing the Ogres. He's playing a Slaughtermaster, a Bruiser, 5 units of Gnoblars, 1 unit of Iron Guts, a unit of 2 units of Man Eaters, and a Iron Blaster. And I don't know if Niklas has put his list in here. I'm not quite sure, but he's playing I know on forehand he's playing High Elves with Alariel, the Radiant. So it's I think it's the hardest comped list in the whole tournament, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he is negative 10 in the Triple Crown comp system. And he is facing off against Robot, who is playing Ogres with a negative 4. And Jonas is playing Demons of Chaos with a +5 versus Andos, who also has a +5. Mons is facing Andreas Landin, and they both have +2 in comp. And let's see where André is facing Jenny Rius with his Lizardman, and André is +7 and Jenny is +6 with her Dark Elves. I don't know how we are on the stream. Are we locked on the slideshow, or are you seeing the two tables? Might be a quite long delay on the stream. Two tables. Okay, so my view of the stream is a bit warped. Niklas' list is on the... Okay, I might be able to find Niklas' list. The right-hand table. Outside of the map. Yeah, here we have it. So Niklas is playing Alariel the Radiant with a large block of White Lions of Shreys. And then he has 15 Phoenix Guard, 17 Silver Helms, 2 units of Illyrian Reavers, a level 2 mage, no, level 1 mage, double Frostheart Phoenix and a Great Eagle. So this is a nasty list on the right side. There's probably a reason it's so hard comped. The left table is deciding where to measure distances from the bases or the trays. That's a good move to decide on forehand before you start playing and placing the units. Robot on the right hand side placed 8 Iron Guts or Man-Eaters. Can't really tell, I'm not that good at the ogres. But we see Niklas placing his second Frostheart Phoenix. Any forbidden armies, units or items? I don't think so. There might be a large delay on the chat versus the stream. those of you that know the Frostheart Phoenix, you know that it's a really nasty unit in the game. It makes the enemy units in base contact get always strike last, and they are -1 strength. So if you get a unit together with the Frostheart Phoenix to get a charge, it's a really uphill battle to fight. So let's see how the Ogre Kingdom can manage this list. And she's also a level 5 wizard, Alariel, with great buffs to dispel and control the magic phase pretty much. And they most likely, if I'm not mistaken, they have the Banner of the World Dragon as well, so they have a huge save. I think against magical attacks they get a 2+ ward save, and they're probably stubborn or something. Yeah, White Lions are stubborn base. So this is a really hard anvil to face up against. We're almost done setting it up, so I think we can, if I'm doing this correctly, I should be able to pan out to the venue and control the camera from here. See if we can pop a sneaky view on André playing. It's not that good, but you can see the Dark Elves with the cauldron pretty much in the middle of the table, a bit to the left. And that might be a problem for André. I know he's playing Lore of Heavens with Teto Echo, so he can re-roll the Comet, and he can put D3 units in Vanguard, or make D3 units make a Vanguard move. So I think he can get an early control of the game, and put off the chaff, but I don't know how he will handle the cauldron with the Witch Elves. And for Mon's part, he is playing his High Elves with the Banner of the World Dragon. A lot of cavalry and White Lions there as well, and a few shooting units. But he's facing off against at least one Hydra and another Cauldron of Blood. So hopefully he can make his redirectors, the Eagles and so on, do work. He also has a Frostheart Phoenix. Let's see what Lars is playing, if I had his list. Lars on the right hand side with the cap, facing off against Daniel. See if I can get a good view over here. He's playing a dwarf list. Last time he played a beautiful 80s themed orcs and goblins army. Now he's playing dwarfs with Ungrim Iron Fist, a unit of Dragon Slayer, a Dragon Slayer, a Runesmith, a Thane, a unit of Longbeards, a large unit of Longbeards, 38 Longbeards. He's playing a cannon, a gyrocopter, a unit of Slayers, an organ gun, another organ gun, and that's it. And I'm not quite sure what Niklas is playing. See if I can... or Daniel, sorry. Daniel is playing his ogre list. So he has the Slaughtermaster, a Bruiser and a Butcher. 10 Iron Guts, 9 Ogres, 4 Lead Belchers, 4 Mournfang Cavalry, 3 Saber Tusks, 1 Giant and an Iron Blaster. Now they are starting up the plays on table 1 and 2. So we're off to first turn movement. So Niklas High Elves on the right hand side took the first turn. He's moving up. The unit of Phoenix Guard. 1 Great Eagle. That's a long measurement, probably some sort of magic. On the left hand side, the Warriors of Chaos made their vanguard moves. I'm pretty sure that's the unit of what are they called? White Lions that Niklas is moving up right now. Now he has boxed in his silver helms, so he has to reform them. They're playing it well. They're playing the battle towards our side of the table, so that's good for us. Better image. Not quite sure on the left hand table where they are in the phases. But it looks like Warriors of Chaos are taking first turn. On to Winds of Magic on table 2. Robot managed to channel a dice as well, so this might be an even phase. We also got one Niklas. This is where he is supposed to shine. So the Warriors of Chaos are a decently aggressive army, but I think that's good for Jonas. It's a good matchup too, because I don't think he has a lot of shooting. As you can see, the dogs on the left hand side closest to the camera, they're gonna work as redirectors. They're strategically placed so that his skull crushers doesn't get the forward arc on a chariot. So he might be able to buy himself a turn or two by that move. We are already over to Robot's turn 1 ogre. They are deciding, they're agreeing on the charge arcs and the distances, like playing by intent, because that saves a lot of headache in the long run. These are really good players. I've played Robot on the right hand side. I think he brought Empire list last tournament, and I'm pretty sure I lost, but it was a really fun game. He's a good player, like he knows his army inside out, and really friendly chap. He's moving up all the Gnoblers. I'm not sure what the intent and purpose of them are, but I'm pretty sure I've seen them make short work of units that should be able to destroy them before. He triggered the forest. And he rolled a 5 on the forest, so it's a venom thicket. So every model in the forest has poison attacks, special rule, only in close combat attacks. But they have to take a dangerous terrain test to represent their attempt to fend off the venomous critters within. So that could be a problem if it's a venom thicket on the right hand side. Trying to look between the screens at the table to see what's going on. Now they're into magic phase on table 2 with 11 versus 6 dice. Warriors of Chaos are in the shooting phase, so this is probably the last thing to shoot. It should be the Hell Cannon, if I'm not mistaken. Now they're checking the line of sight on the cannon. So it has to be in a The Hell Cannon is a monster, so it doesn't get the free pivot that the other cannons get. So he's saying this is probably the only turn he can shoot at the Seekers of Slaanesh, because next turn it'll be out of the forward arc and he has to pivot the cannon. He scattered away. It's a miss. Now it's over to Demons of Chaos turn 1 on the left table. The dogs, Jonas declare a charge and the dogs are gonna flee. So now he has to roll to see how far the dogs run away. Anders rolled a 7 on the flee roll for the Chaos Hounds.
Jonas, det är centrum till centrum. Ja. Ja, centrum på din enhet, centrum till hans. Det är vinkeln och springer.
Now they run 7 inches and I don't think he can redirect the charge, so he has to run. It's too far to redirect. Yeah. That stick should be 18 inches. He has to roll an 11 if he wants to redirect it, but then he gets the right angle. Otherwise he's open to a flank charge. On the right hand side, the ogres are going into the shooting phase. He's gonna aim for one of the Frostheart Phoenixes. Roll a 4. 8. So it's a hit. First shot is a hit, so 2 wound, 2+. He wounds. And he makes the ward save. Thinking Niklas draws a sigh of relief right now, because losing a Frostheart that early is a problem. Jonas on table 1 is rolling a charge range. Yeah, he hits the Warhounds in the back and they are destroyed. It's a 17-inch charge, so his light cavalry were caught and destroyed. So now the Seekers of Slaanesh are almost all the way into the deployment. So - 09:49. Jag har ingen timer på matcherna. Nej. Är det 3 timmar på match? 2,5. Ja. Ni har spelat 19 minuter. Jo, men ni började halv. Jag är ganska säker. Ja. Kvart över börjar ni deploya. We're discussing the time limits of the game. Each game is 2.5 hours, and they started deploying around 15 past 9 and started playing around 9:30. So That should be end of the games around 12 o'clock. But when it's 30 minutes left, you shouldn't start a new round to be able to play as much as possible and don't get an unfair advantage. You have to know that you can finish the rounds. So it's High Elves turn 2 on table 2. Jonas is firing his cannon, and he placed a token where it hits. Looks like he missed everything. His units are gonna stand. So it wasn't the heavy cavalry that charged, it was the little keeper, little lone model on the left bottom side. Freudian slip, survivor. We need close-ups. We have some shots of the armies and the tables in a slideshow. I don't know. I can control the left-hand camera. Survivor, as long as you keep it on a good level, then we're fine. We can get some close-ups of table 1 where we have a modular camera system, but table 2 is a fixed camera, unfortunately. Let's see if we can pull that off. If I do a full screen, we should be able to get the table in its entirety. Last step of the magic phase in turn 1, and Andreas dispelled. Now it's the shooting. Sorry about that misunderstanding. Wounding on 2+, rolls a 4. Looks like he's shooting at the hell cannon. He saves it on a 6+. No fighting, so it's over to Warriors of Chaos turn 2. Let's see if he has any nice charges to declare. Reign of God's table. So we're going into charge phases, into the Seekers. he's holding. I might be able to get a second view on table 2 if the camera is able to. There we go. So we can do a dual screen setup on table 2 as well. I'm right now learning. This is my second time streaming. Started Thursday, so if there are some problems, just let us know, and I'll try to fix them as good as I can. Sweaty jungle and boring lizards. There's a lot of jungle themed tables, but we'll try to cover the high elves versus ogres as well. You do have a sparkling personality survivor. That's correct. I think you would enjoy to play on a tournament as well, because it's really nice to get some time to play different armies and other than the local meta as well. Test donation, it doesn't really work. We should have a setup to get the chat on the screen, but it doesn't seem to connect as it should. So I'm sorry about that. So on table 1, the Gore Beast Chariot charged the lone small model that I don't know the name of. I'll look it up to see. It should be the Mask of Slanesh that he has charged. It's a 140 point model, and it's a weird model. It can change the opponent's stat lines and so on, if I'm correct. And the warriors, trolls, and nasty stuff on the right hand side is forming up a defense line, sort of. You can see on table 2 that the Iron Guts has made a charge against Niklas Illyrian Reavers. I'm almost 100% certain that they will make short work in that fight. So he rolled a 3 and a 1 in the magic phase robot, so he has 4 dice versus 3. So this is probably a one spell hopefully. $14 on the dice. Niklas will try to dispel with 3 dice with a level 2 wizard. And he dispelled it. Could this be a... Could it be a miscast on table 1? It might be. Might be a miscast on table 1. Nine dead moles on a miscast. No panic tests on the warriors. See if the wizard survives. He survives. The first is strength 10 hit on the wizard, and this so this is a dimensional cascade on table 1. Now he has to roll 1, 2, 3. Is he sucked into the warp? He is sucked into the warp. So that's a heavy blow. Yeah, and they have a bingo table as well, so getting a wizard sucked into warp, that contributes to the points. So you might be able to win a box of Age of Sigmar marbles, ironically. That's a rough start. So the Hell Cannon is going into the other cannon. That is called a Skull Cannon. One Hell Cannon into a Skull Cannon of Corn. So on a 4+, he wounds. Demon save 5+. 6+ armor save. 5+ demon save. He saved it. See table 2 looking at the rules books frenetically, so there might be something going on over there. We're looking at the quick to fire, so I would guess it's what's it called? Stand and shoot reaction, since they are so close. The Gnobblers to the Phoenix Guard. They're doing a stand and shoot reaction, and if I'm reading the game correctly, they should be able to move in. Now we're into fight phase. impact hits from the ogres into the Illyrian Reavers. So the Illyrian Reavers are off the table. Gobot is turning them towards the Silver Helms to prepare for a charge, perhaps. I can't see any units in close combat, so it should be over to High Elf's turn too. Niklas is measuring out the charge distances. So the Seekers of Slaanesh are fighting some small unit that I can't recollect what it is. So he won the combat by 1. The warriors has to roll a 7 or higher to stay. 7 or lower. So 1 unit of Gnoblers looks to be fleeing on table 2. That's a long flee run. It's into the forest, so he has to take dangerous terrain. He passes them both. And the Frostheart Phoenix, is he gonna redirect or follow up? He's redirecting to another unit of Gnoblers. He passes the leadership test. They flee as... No, they rolled a leadership test, a terror test. So now he has a charge reaction. Stand and shoot. No penalty for long range on stand and shoot, because it counts as you have moved up. So the Mask of Slaanesh looks like it died. Did the mask die, Jonas?
Yeah, mask was 1-1-2 on the...
No. So the Mask of Slaanesh is dead with the impact hits. On table 2, the Frostheart Phoenix moves up to the Gnoblers. Looks like he took a wound or two, but now he is boxed in his White Lions, so they can't move. So the Silver Helms and the Frostheart Phoenix went into robots. Iron Guts, I would say they are called. Could that be correct? No, it should be Man-Eaters, sorry, my bad. So on table 2, Frostheart Phoenix and 17 Silver Helms into 8 Man-Eaters. That's a tough battle. And we have a Frostheart Phoenix into a unit of Gnoblers. On table 1 we have Yuna's Skull Crushers or Blood Crushers into Warriors of Chaos, or the Chaos Warriors. And it looks like he might be out of the charge arc for the Gore Beast Chariot, but it's hard to tell from this angle. Niklas is lining up his White Lions for a charge from the other unit of Man-Eaters, and I have basically no idea what's happening on the further side of the table. Yuna's opponent Anders Moberg is a very organized player. You can see he has his tokens, he has his templates and dices organized. It's nice to see. The High Elves are moving the Great Eagle around, I would say just out of the forest, so he doesn't have to take dangerous terrain tests. On table 1, the Demons rolled a 9 on the magic phase, turn 2. So they have to check on the Eye of the Gods table, the roll, how it affects the game. We can pivot over to Mons. Mons, you look like you have sold the butter and lost the money.
What?
It looks like you have sold the butter. Looks like they're not yet into combat, they're a bit passive on one's table. And if we check over to Daniel's table, it looks like he has lost a few valuable units. And back to table 1 and 2. Table 1 is in the Demon's Magic phase, and table 2 is in the High Elves Magic phase. Jonas on table 1 is throwing a hex spell. So the fight on table 2, the Man-Eaters versus Silverhelms and Frostheart Phoenix. The Frostheart Phoenix gives always strike last. So Niklas is gonna hit first, obviously. And Silverhelms on the charge is they're strong. There's a lot of strength going in. Since they have martial prowess, they can fight in an extra rank, so all 18 of them should be able, it should be 18 attacks, strength 5 probably, and high weapon skill as well. The Silverhelms are weapon skill 4, strength 5 on the charge. "12 wounds on the Man-Eaters. And they should have 16, and they don't have a save. So that's 4 Man-Eaters straight up. And the Frostheart Phoenix 4 attacks. Strength 6, so 2s. 2 wounds with no save. I think, yeah, they have always strike last, so even the horses are gonna hit before the Man-Eaters. Might nick off an extra wound. They have a tendency to do that. So they're both in the fight phase, but I think table 1 is a turn behind, or a half turn behind. Man-Eaters manages 4 wounds. Kills 2 Silver Helms. Should be Snake Eyes to stay. No. Something? Oh, he's hitting with a character. Killed another Silver Helm. Calculating combat results. Yes. Yeah, it's Snake Eyes. So the Man-Eaters should flee on table 2. Now he's measuring so to see if he runs off the table or something. But he has to roll the flee roll as well. In table 1, the Seekers of Slaanesh, they won the combat and overrun or pursued. Should be a pursue or something. You can see if I can zoom in on table 1, should see a chariot in combat with a keeper of secrets. So on table 2, the Silver Helms reformed and the Frostheart Phoenix pursued the Man-Eaters. This should be the Gnobler versus second Frostheart Phoenix fight. Seven Gnoblers can strike back into the Frostheart Phoenix on table 2. They actually do a wound. He saved it, so the Frostheart wins by 5. They don't pass the leadership test. He wants to restrain, pursue. See. There is a challenge on table 1 as well. They both had to challenge, and so this is the outcome. The challenge is outside of the combat to visualize it even more. And this should be turn 3 if I'm correct on table 2 for the ogres. So the duel on table 1, there's 4 attacks coming in, hit 3 hits, strength 6, 1 killing blow and 2 wounds. He has a parry save on the killing blow on a 6+, otherwise the champion is gone. He's gone.
Jonas. Ska de andra... Ja, det blir väl overkill på dem. Det blir overkill på dem också. De 2 där.
Ja, det var de jag försökte
Ja, okej,
säga nu.
ja.
Så han är ju värd 3.
Ja.
Ja.
We have a sort of striking BSB, hitting at initiative 7 and weapon skill 7. So 2+.
Nej, undrar om den är en egen, va? Är inte fly alltid 2d6? Nej.
So we had a question from table 2 about fleeing units. If you flee as a charge reaction, do you count the swift stride? So that should be under the swift stride rules. Fleeing and pursuing units entirely made of models with the Swift Stride special rule, roll 3d6 and discard the lowest.
Niklas.
Swift Stride.
Enkelt.
So on table 2 the unit of man-eaters charged the White Lions of Trace. Let's see if they can kill the level 5 wizard Alariel. But it's gonna be tough with the banner of the World Dragon. and stubborn and so on. That's gonna be a real slugfest. But they do strike with great weapons, and they have ASF and ASL, so they strike at initiative, which should be 5. So that's not bad, striking at initiative 5, weapon skill 5 with strength 5, if I am correct. White Lions, weapon skill 4 or 5. Weapon skill 5. Yeah. Chaos Warriors did 2 wounds to the Skull Crushers, or what they're called. Blood Crushers, sorry. So on table 1, it looks like that combat is won by 6 dice. 6. Lose by 7, so it's Snake Eyes on the Chaos Warriors on table 1. And they don't pass it. With the reroll. So they ran and got caught. So for the warrior side, it's about conserving and evening out the points. Niklas had to take an energy drink because it was exhausting playing high elves. We also have at the venue, the organizers have organized, so on the right hand side behind Mons there is a class from school selling drinks and coffee and soft drinks and coffee and pastries to collect money for a school trip. So it's a lot of volunteer work going around around the tournament as well, and it's always nice to see when you can engage other parts of the community in the same area. But it looks like if we're going down to Andre's table, if we can sneak a view, this is as far as I can turn the camera. Looks like the Dark Elves has lost a few units and the Lizardmen are playing passive. That's not what I thought I would see. And on one's table, oh, excuse the motion sickness. Looks like they're in the deployment phase still. I have to take a look. They're in the Dark Elves magic phase, and not a lot of units are in fighting formation or fighting combats. We still have it looks like the Keeper of Slanesh. One combat. It looks like they're out of combat. The chariot is still there. That high elves terrain is very cool. Yeah, I would agree. I would love to have something similar to that at my place, but it's large pieces of terrain. So we have taken a step into hour 2. In 1 hour they will break the game or pause, so you can't play another turn. But looking at table 2, they look like they can pass the time. Table 1 might finish in time as well. I'm gonna go take a lap in the venue and record some of the games going on behind me. So I will mute the microphone, or I will walk away, and I'll be back soon.
TO i det här evenemanget. Inte åt mig själv. Removing casualties. När det inte är sista ranken måste jag plocka från båda hållen eller kan jag plocka från ett håll.
So I am back. I'm trying to figure out what has happened. Looks like the ogres are the unit that hid behind the tower is on the march. guessing they want to get a flank charge on the white lions. They've had another combat over on table 1, actually. Yeah, and that should be the Bloodletters versus his Berserkers or something. And the combat was not a stalemate, but they're still locked in combat. And I have misinterpreted Jonas's list, because this, I have to pan the camera on table 1. This is his Demonettes. The thing that I thought was a shooting attack in turn 1 was actually a summoning of a warp gate or something. So he has 24 Demonettes coming in the back line of the Warriors of Chaos. So I would say it's looking pretty darn grim, with the Keeper of Secrets fighting the Gore Beast Chariot, Seekers of Slanesh lining up for a flank charge, Demonettes lining up for a rear charge, and the Warriors player that sucked his own wizard into the warp in turn 2. This could actually be a quick game. Nej. Det är faktiskt så failed charge, så är det till och med så att om du skulle komma in i komma. So I got a quick summary of the tables. We have On table 1, the trolls passed their stupidity test and went into the flank of the bloodletters. Otherwise it's looking grim. This is the last chance to save points, pretty much. On table 2, the Iron Guts moved up and were blocked by a giant eagle, so they can't get the flank charge on the White Lions. So he is safe for another turn, but then the Frostheart Phoenixes and the Silverhelms lined up for their charges. So I would say it's looking better for the High Elves, but it all depends on if the Magician dies in the White Lion block. And we actually have on Mon's table, they are into combat now with the Silverhelms and the Frostheart Phoenix. And there's a small combat on the left hand side between skirmish units. But now they're really getting into it. And over on Andre's table, I can't turn around anymore. What's this? Someone has moved the camera. Sorry, I have to do some manual adjustment. On Andre's table, he lost a large block of warriors to the Cauldron of Blood unit, so it's looking a bit dark for him at the moment. But this should be... I have to adjust the camera. This is the last combat of table 1. And by the way, the table with the ogres with Daniel over here, the dwarfs won over the ogre by 20-0. So that was turn 1 or match 1's quickest game. I think he said in the passing by they only got 1 magic spell off. So that could be enough to flip a game. I'm a bit disoriented on the cams right now, but on table 2, as you've noticed, it's a combat between the man-eaters and the White Lions. So looks like the bloodletters are dead. Yeah, they're removed. That's a good turn of events for the Warriors of Chaos. The bloodletters is 361 points the unit, and I think they have a champion in there as well. So that if you look at table 1 now, Jonas is declaring a charge with his skull cannon of corn into the berserkers. Blood crushers into the... It should be a rear charge on the trolls, perhaps. No, they reformed after the combat, so it's a front charge. And the skull cannon and the seekers are going into the barbarians. I don't know what the unit is called. I don't have the army list for the Warriors of Chaos. Now the White Lions pulled out a victory. There's not a lot of them left, but it's still a victory. So now there's only it's mostly gnobblers left. I'm joined by Daniel now. He's looking at the at the screen, so you got a lot of time over.
Yeah.
A lot of time to kill. I've seen André might be a bit salty today. He lost his big block of warriors, like early on to the cauldron.
Yeah.
Yep.
That usually happens.
Yeah, it does. But it's looking good for the demons on table 1 and high elves on table 2.
It's demons versus Warriors of Chaos.
Yeah. And he sucked his wizard into the warp turn 2, I think. Might be turn 1. So then it's an uphill battle. And the trolls fail stupidity.
Okay.
Yeah, you know the drill. The last unit of ogres are boxed in as well. And a comp for the tournament. Ranging from, yeah. So we have a complete comp list and almost all the army lists, but oh, Anacron is back. Hi. We have almost all the army lists, but it's not complete. Edition. Purple Crown. But the next Dalaslaget is probably gonna be the old world this fall.
Probably.
Yeah. So this could be one of the last 8th tournament this year. We have one more book, then we're out of bookings. So, but the old world is nice as well. I haven't played as much as I would have wanted to, but we'll get there. So there is also a sky cannon. What's it called? What is that one called? The Iron Blaster. There is an Iron Blaster and a unit of, should be the large unit of Iron Guts.
With characters.
Yeah, with characters, and then Gnadlers left. And the High Elves, White Lions, are a bit decimated, but they're still alive, so they reform to a smaller unit. We're in on table 2, it's the Ogre's Magic Phase. And table 1 is in the fight phase of the demon player. I just overheard from the table behind me, Andrei lost another dinosaur to the Dark Elves. I know he was really confident in the car, like Lizardmen, they can take everything head on, but sometimes the dice are not with you. Ogre's going into the shooting phase. He's gonna try to nick off one of the Frost Hearts. So 30 minutes left to the breaking point where you don't start any new turns. So there's 1 hour of game time left. So we have I just found a bingo sheet as well. Oh. Fantasy Gaming Studio. I got the chat live, but there's apparently a large delay on the stream and the chat, but I can respond to you right now. It's not impossible to arrange a tournament. The key part is learning to know the players and announce ahead of time. So you can just book a venue, tell people about it, and gather. I would say terrain is the hardest part, and like checking the lists and for errors. And it's a good thing to have a comp system in place, just to nick out a few of the. Oftentimes there are FAQs on stuff that should have been FAQ'd and so on. So don't be afraid to arrange a tournament yourself. It's like totally worth it. A lot of work, but it's so fun. I'm so happy that Niklas and Daniel is arranging this one. And we try to help out as good as we can, but it's a lot of work, but it's fun work. So go for it. And Copenhagen is close to where I've grown up, so it's not impossible for me to show up as well. At least me. I don't know about my dear co-workers. So on table 1 the trolls are gone, so it should only be the berserkers left against the rest of the table. This looks like a absolute slaughter. But if he is lucky now and kills the seekers, that should be another 200 points. And he killed the bloodletters, so he could be looking at a 5. And the what's it called, the Mask of Slanesh, that's another 140 points. So it might not be 20-0 to the demon player. I think the warrior player can nick a few points from him as well. Now it's a real, if you look at table 2, that's a real clusterfuck going on. Something is running off the table here. The giant eagle is into the iron guts. The white lions are. This is the hard movement. If they can fit, so they don't block each other out. So the second to last unit in the ogres are getting charged by a falling bird, a great eagle and white lions. Another Frostheart Phoenix probably lining up to take on the large cannon of the ogres, which the Iron Blaster. Sorry about the name calling. I'm not that great at the ogre army either. Yeah, okay. As a single dad, I would not alone arrange a tournament, but you might be able to fire up some spirits. And now we have game on table 1. Sorry about that. So table 1 is finishing up now, and I'll get back to you with the results of that. It should be, I would say, about 18-19 to 1, something like that. It's a good overhand for Jonas. But the Fantasy Gaming Studio try to fire up some other people to do the work and show up for a tournament. You don't have to do everything yourself. Yeah, I got a question from another chat where we see pairings and results. I will try to compile it, but it's not that easy from the Excel document. We're gonna run through it this afternoon. We'll break for lunch around 12:30, and then we will spend the afternoon preparing the pairings and going through the lists more in detail and so on, like who has performed, who has not. So game 2 won't be streamed in any larger extent. We will be gathering and preparing for the night stream or the evening stream. But I got I got the bingo list where you can check off boxes, and if you get like a straight line or you fill every box, you win a prize. And there are some funny, like some terms, like if you kill the general, you lose a magician to a miscast. be on time for everything, fail all your attempts to dispel your opponent's spells, flee off the table, kill a unit with magic. And there's some nice things as well, like buy something for your opponent from the kiosk, and there's something central, shake hands with your opponent after every game. And one of them is put your armies out neatly for Armies on Parade, which will be tomorrow. I do have a schedule over here. I would like to say, if I switch to yeah, okay, I failed. That is like a passive screen. I didn't think about that. So that was the schedule where you can see. So game 3 around 5 o'clock this evening in 6 hours will be Hold the Ground. Sorry about my mistake. We have another audio input on that scene. But that will be a game where you have 5 strategic points on the map, which you get points for holding at the end of the game. So game 3 will be a lot more strategic in the movement phase and picking your battles to be able to hold the points. And a quick overview of the venue. It seems like only 2 tables are done playing. It's table 1 straight ahead on the left, and we have the dwarfs versus ogres. Everyone else is still going. Some have more units off the table than on the table, so it looks hopeful to finish in time today. What is your favorite 8th edition fantasy army? I had Beastman as a favorite for a long time, but since I started playing Skaven, I'm all for it. It's like more of the randomness and more of the fun stuff that can happen. So it's I like the weird, dumb stuff that's going on with Skaven. But we have a match, I would say furthest away in the venue, where we have 2 demons of chaos with different alignments are facing off, and that's a really weird mirror match as well. It's like Khorne Nurgle versus Slanesh. So they shot each other's magicians out turn 1, and now it's just a slugfest. So I like the weird armies pretty much. I have a High Elves army as well, but I'm not so keen to playing them because they're they're so static in a way. Yeah, the war machines, they take a lot of time. I'm still painting on my plague furnace like a month later. It's ridiculous. A lot of details, yeah. And you want to get the feeling of it's a lot of smoke and effects on them as well. So I enjoy painting them, but it takes a lot of time. You can see if table 2 can turn to Mon's table over here. So this is not the best angle, but you can see the high elves are fighting the dark elves now on what I used to call table 1. Mons is playing a quite similar list to Niklas on table 2, where he has, see if I can find it. I know basically what it is, but there we go. So he's playing an Archmage and a Lothern Sea Helm and a regular mage. A unit of 20 archers, 6 Illyrian Reavers, 10 Silver Helms, a Lion Chariot, 5 Shadow Warriors, 5 Swordmasters, 1 Tyrannok Chariot, and a horde of 40 White Lions, and a Frostheart Phoenix and a Great Eagle. So it's quite similar, but he has more chaff units than Niklas, and I would say lesser magic, but that's everything compared to L'Oreal is lesser. Yeah, Fantasy Gaming Studio writes that he had to paint most of them before assembling. Yeah, you know, I almost tried that, but then I gave up, because once you've assembled them, like the stuff that's hard to paint, you'll never see them. I just gave up. I'm painting the outside and like trying basically to get paint in through the crevices. I just gave up on sub-assembly. It's not worth it for me, but I'm not a good painter, so. I would love to see your army though. Are you exclusively playing 8th edition fantasy, or have you tried playing the old world? Only 8th, as I don't really like how the old world plays. It takes a bit getting used to, but as you've played a few games, you can notice like the stuff that sounds weird, it has a lot of strategical impact, so it's growing on me as well. I know Mons he's convinced that it's almost better than 8th, or it might be better. Jonas is on the fence, and André is leaning towards 8th still. But I can definitely see the charm in the old world, like the combat resolution part plays. It's so much strategy in that. Do I follow up? Do I pursue? It's more of a dynamic game than static. I have to check out your link as well. I'll write it down and check it out later this afternoon when I have time. What's the name? Yeah, High Elves, but that's a pain to paint. That's like the worst army. That's worse than Skaven, because they have to look neat. So what's the name? Is it Fantasy Gaming Studio? Is the YouTube nickname the same as the... What's it called? Your company or your thing to do? I'll check it out later. We're at the end of the fight phase on table 2, where the ogres are gonna stomp the white lions. Minuter kvar till cut-off time. De börjar ställa upp kvart över halv hade de startat nästan alla. Visst, vi har ingen klocka som vi startar.
9.30.
Ja.
Fram till 12.30.
Nej, men 2,5 timmar.
Jag vill säga 3. 9.30 till 12.30.
Okej, så det är 3 timmar, så 12 är cut-off. Okej. The cut-off time is 12 o'clock and the game should end at 12:30. The worst army to paint is definitely going to be vampire counts. At the moment I'm painting 100 skeletons and 200 zombies and I'm getting sick of it, lol. You just pour paint on them, it's not that hard. It's like one bucket of paint straight on top of them. Super easy. No, but I can agree, like the amount of units in Skaven and vampire counts or undead is basically what scares people off, but you can find a good paint scheme as well. You never use pour painting. Yeah, that's a life hack, my friend. You can get an army done in like 6 minutes. En timme. Det var satt 3 timmar.
9.30 till 12.30.
Vi kan sätta en timer på nästa. Ja. Men det stämmer, för match 3 är 17 till 20.
Vi kör 3 timmar efter 2,5.
Nej, precis. Ja. So I would say table 2 is rounding up the game. It looks like that could be a 20-0 there as well. I can see that he has lost any valuable units. Jag ska sjukt delay på den här. Det är typ så här kvart bak på den förhandsvisningen. Kollar man här så är det kanske en minut.
Kör du inte du någonting? Du är bara med och sköta grejer.
Bara fixa det här. Lite småskönt.
Jag är rädd att få spö, det är det.
Nej, men har man vunnit den senaste för ett halvår sedan, då rider man ju på den vågen.
Ingen annan chans.
Jag har ju tänkt att det kunde vara roligt att streama och dokumentera. Alltså vi streamar 3 av 5 matcher.
Ja, det kör 3.
Jo, vi kör eftermiddagen, kommer jag försöka skriva ihop standings och kolla på listor och så.
Är det de 2 elakaste listorna?
Yeah. Table 2 is the meanest list. It's -10 and -9 comp.
Jag ska inte säga, jag ligger på minus. Vad hade du på din då? -3. Det var annorlunda när jag körde med Orks förra gången. Det var +10.
You're like one away from ending up on that table because it's -10, -4, -3, 3, and then
Hur många -3?
4. Man kan väl ta så här. The average comp on the tournament is +1.4.
Ja, så det ligger i alla fall på plus.
Yeah. This is getting towards the end. But I think it's only 2 tables that have finished so far. Yeah. But it's 1 hour left, so there's potential to end in time. Lite, men det gör ingenting. Det är ingen fara. Det är bara kul att se dig.
Kameran där också.
Jo. Men vi snurrar den. Inga problem. Den snurrar runt.
Så han visar från olika ställen.
Jo. So I can switch from the venue cam to table 2 and it spins around.
Han har en jävla massa kunskap att hålla igång såna här grejer.
It's a lot that can go wrong.
Ja, vad kan hända?
1 hour left, they announced.
En timme kvar.
En timme? Vi är nu ute och går.
I have to take a sneak peek on table 2. So there's 2 units of Nobblers left and the Sky Cannon or the Iron Blaster. So it's a fight to not conserve points but get some points basically. But this is where the comp system comes into play. Like Niklas, who plays the High Elves, he has -10. It's like the meanest list on the whole tournament. So he's probably gonna get the cheese grater tomorrow in the award ceremony. So -10 versus -4, it is a much nastier list. And there the Nobblers go. Is special characters allowed? Yeah, but it's pre-end times, if I am correct. The comp system regulates a few stuff. Like last time they played with the Monsters Compendium, this time they don't. So it differences from time to time, but I would say no end times character this tournament. So the best time, yeah, basically. I've played some end times, but it's strong. Like some characters are just straight up broken, and some things from the Monster Companion are just unkillable. This is 8th edition. Triple Crown comp. The Invocation of Nehek, it's a special ability, so it doesn't cost any spell casting. Like a level 2 wizard can have 2 spells plus the Invocation of Nehek and cast 2 spells per turn plus the invocation. I would have to call on my dear friend André, who plays Vampire Counts a lot. He knows this best, but a special ability. I think Invocation of Nehek is a spell in 8th edition, but in the old world it's an ability. I'm pretty sure, but I have to check if André has the time. He is still playing, unfortunately, but I promise to get back to you. Sug double bay. Two units of Gnoblers left. Let's see if we have a view of Mon's table over here. Where it looks like the Cauldron of Blood with the Witch Elves is in combat with a chariot, right? No, they are in the flank of a small unit of sword masters. If we turn pan camera 1 around to André, there's not a lot of stuff left on the table, but it's overwhelmingly lots of dark elves, so it's looking bleak. Robot is coming back with his list to check it twice and calculate the combat results. Oh, Asaru! Bretonia versus Ogre. Yeah. The Saber-Tusk, I think they have been haunting his mind for a long time since then. That might be the only game where André was saltier than once. I will send my best to him, but I think I will let him have a win first and then remind him about the game Bretonia versus Ogres. Looking bleak like the title of their infantry, yeah. Now we're waiting to see. Oh, Mons is fumbling a dice. I almost caught it on camera. And they're calculating points on table 2. So we were really surprised to see that the 10 Island gaming guys were here today. A bit sad, but we'll catch you next time, hopefully. But you have been replaced by a large group of people from Skåne, so I'm not super sad. Daruba, you are very welcome. Since you have been, if you have been to Falun before, this venue is a lot cooler. It's a bit noisier, but it's a super cool venue. You can see, I think I have a cam setting I might not have, but it's like an old theater with murals and caves and stuff. So this is definitely worth a visit. It looks like André is still fighting a battle, but I can't really tell how it's going. Now we have Niklas back here with the results from table 2, right?
Yes.
You want to fill it in?
Sure. Det är nog ingen som har rapporterat.
Jonas, vad blev det här? Nu är Niklas här som kan rapportera.
Men det var ganska bra för det målet.
Jo, men väl poängen ska också in.
Är det Jonas som vann med 20-0? För du fyllt i rappen rätt. Man måste dubbelkolla så att det inte gör fel. Nej, men jag har ju varit otydlig tidigare idag, så då är det bäst att jag är extra tydlig nu. 2772.
Som frågan igår. Handuppräckning alla som har svarat rätt. Ja.
Jaha, ska det vara kul snart då?
Va?
Ska det vara kul snart då? Vi är nog du och jag nästa match. Ja, vi är visserligen 3 som är 20-0 nu.
Du möter Jonas.
Ja, men det kan komma någon mer 20-0 som har mer poäng. Men det här kan inte stämma. Jo, det kan det. Hade du en enhet kvar? 2. Så det är 110 poäng. Ish. Ja.
Jävla nobblers.
Jaha, så vi kanske får möta varandra igen. Spännande.
Du klarar ju av att fylla i det här också, eller hur?
Vad sa du?
Du klarar väl av att fylla i det här också, eller hur?
Jag kan absolut.
Det är bara fyll i allting och sen gör vi
Tournament
lotten.
points, victory points. Ja,
Se till så att folk har fyllt
och
i det
så
rätt bara.
control save.
Ja, det kan vara bra idé.
So I am back and table 2 has finished. So the first 3 tables, not surprisingly, have reported in 20-0, where we have Niklas played 20-0, Lars played 20-0 with the dwarfs, and Jonas Jonsson played 20-0 with the demons of chaos. So high elves, demons and dwarfs are looking strong so far. And the 20-0 games typically and self-explanatory ends earlier than the rest. But I'll be back once they report them. See if we can do a full screen of the venue. Jo, men vi kan väl sätta oss ner och
Trycker mig genom kameran. Det är ändå ganska nice. Some viewers, or the lots of comments.
yeah, Asaro is back.
Asaro is-
I was turning the camera towards André and he looked pretty grim. And Asaro, he wrote something. Send my regards. Ask André if he remembers our last game, Bretonia versus Ogres, and ask how he likes Cyber Tusks. And I said, I think I will let him have a win first. Yeah, we felt it was time to pass on the torch. We kind of regret not being there now, but a couple of months back we all felt that it didn't fit. Seems crowded. Good luck. I'm rooting for Miscast. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's looking good. Our first player to finish is joining me in the, what's this called? The studio?
Yeah, the studio, the chat.
Isn't that the same venue we had Battle for Hellfen and whatnot? I'm not sure. I wasn't here for that. Perhaps Niklas and Daniel.
Yeah,
can
what it's
tell.
called? It's called. It's like a stage for artists, and
Yeah.
it's in Borlänge. I don't know the name of it. It was something in C. I can't.
We'll see if we can get. I have turned the camera a bit around. See if we can get it to turn more. But we can't. Perhaps
Yeah, slightly.
slightly. So this is the studio we're working about with the cardboard box for a mic stand. It's not the best, but I'll
But
see if we can.
It is very good for us. It's like
we
good
have-
standard.
We have this one as well.
And
but
now we
it's-
have some tournament lists coming in.
Oh, reporting.
We'll
off.
bank them for Niklas, so he can report them.
I can report them here as
Or
well.
have you taken on the secretary role?
David G. Junto.
Hur gick det för Joakim då?
14-6 till mig.
Det gick ganska bra alltså.
Don,
Woodels till Melik.
Joakim.
In och slåss.
Nu ska vi se. Förlorade VP, nu känns det lite drygt. Vänta. Hur ska man översätta det? Joakim fick 645 då.
Jag
måste-
förlorade 645.
Ja.
Ja, du vill ha hur mycket med Joakim har dödat, så du vill ha omvänt. 16, annars blir det fel. Niklas tittar skeptiskt.
Jo.
We are entering the tournament results.
What should I type in for David?
645.
645.
David får 645.
Okay.
Joakim får 16-14. Resultatet är 14 poäng till Joakim, 6 till David.
Nej men 16-14, alltså...
Nej, 14-6.
14-6.
Ja men här, vad får Joakim på VP?
Jag får 16-14.
Ja.
Där någonstans.
Ja, intjänade VP
Ja.
nu.
Ja.
Och sen tvärtom.
Ja, precis.
Men är det fel?
14.
Nej, det var
Nej,
rätt.
nej, det var rätt.
Ja. 645. Now
Nej.
we'll-
Nej, du gjorde
Nej.
ännu mer fel ändå.
Varför?
Ovanför 645. Under 14-16.
16-14.
16-14.
Men.
Och sen kolumnen till höger så byter du plats på, så det är 4 där och 16 under.
Nej, 6.
14-16. Fan, så svårt ska det vara. Det ska vara 4 där, det står 16. Det ska
Nej,
vara 6.
sex.
Det ska vara 6 där det står 14. Och sen ska det vara 16. 14.
Numbers, they are hard.
Okay, so this is correct. So Joakim vann.
Ja. Med 14-6.
Ja.
Yeah.
Är det
Sorry about
14-6
that.
när det är 1000 poäng i skillnad?
Ja, det är 9.
So we have the second or the fourth reporting. You were playing
Wood Elves.
Wood Elves versus
Listen.
Lizardmen, and the Wood Elves won by 14-6. But how are you feeling now that you have played your first game? It was a
Quite good. It was a really fun match.
Yeah.
Results, regardless, doesn't really matter, but I had a really fun time. Anders had this really cool Slanesh themed Wars of Chaos army,
yeah.
and it was a very intense start of the game. Both of us were thinking, do I want to go up forward? Am I the aggressor? Or should I stay back and take the charge? And both of us had these flanking units. He had the chariots and the riders and the wolves. And I had the seekers and the blood crushers, the big juggernauts on
I tried to follow the game basically all the way, and I saw he tried to be strategic with but I made a misunderstanding. He put his warhounds as a chaff unit, and I thought you charged with the skull crushers, but it was the keeper, the Slanesh mask.
Yeah, the mask of Slanesh.
Yeah, that was a good move.
I kind of thought that he was baiting me, he wanted me to charge and then overrun and get into a bad position. And I thought that if he would then get into combat with me with either his warriors or the chariot, I would just lose that combat.
Yeah.
So I kind of opted to sacrifice my mask. I'm not proud of it.
It was a good strategic move.
Yeah, I heard that the square-based channel, they said something that really resonated with me. Any unit can be a chef.
Yeah, that's
in
true.
a game. Any unit can be chef.
Definitely.
So
any unit can be chef. But you played 20-0, so I'm guessing by the reports of it, you're going up against Laws or like the dwarves, or either the dwarves or what they're called, the high elves.
High elves. I really don't want to face Niklas.
No, that's a hard.
Yeah, that's a hard
matchup.
list. That's a hard list. I really don't want to face Lars either. I want to face him, play him as a person.
Yeah, he's
but I don't want to play dwarves.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
No, dwarves are horrible.
Yeah, they just shoot through me, and I don't have any armor saves. I only have the demon saves, but I have so low toughness, so it's not gonna be enough to stay on the table.
Yeah, and he played against Daniel's ogres.
Yeah.
And I was watching there when you were in turn 2, 2 of his large blocks.
Of ogres. Yeah. Oh. That must have been a cannon or something.
So that was the first game that finished. And I was a bit disappointed. I told him that I was a bit disappointed he didn't bring his old school orcs and goblins, the 80s theme.
But the ones that we've seen on the photos.
When I got close to the dwarf army, it's all old school. It could be pure metal, the whole thing. It's wonderful. You have to.
The table buckles under the weight of it.
Probably not. It should be a supporting pin under. But it's the thing that strikes me, like the organ gun. It's as big as a normal model.
Oh,
it's so small. Yeah, I would bet it fits on a 25 mil base. Basically, it's so small. You have to check it out. I don't want to go and steal it, but I somehow still want to go and steal it. Should I
but
go
we
for
should.
it?
But I think we should get some photos up on and then get them in the slideshow.
Yeah, the slideshow is a bit of a pain to update, but we'll try to take new pictures
update.
and put the slideshow on.
What is your thoughts on the today's event, Martin? How are things going on your end?
It's going basically good. I made one mistake that I know of, where I wanted to show the schedule, and the sound disappeared because we have like a drum. But the chat is on point and they tell me what I'm doing wrong, so I'm so thankful. And there's been
have there been any like comments that we should respond to?
There is one.
There's one tournament organizer that wants to use the computer.
Yeah, we can input. Let's see if I do this right. I have to find a name first.
Christer.
There. Christer got. Oh. It's another 20-0.
Plus 5.
386.
Ja, det är därför det är så bra med att man får matchas med någon.
This is correct. Oh.
Yes sir.
Yes.
Du är ansvarsfull att lämna in våra poäng.
Det är gjort.
Nej, jag tror inte det heller. Alltså jag tror att din...
Tack så mycket. So I've recorded the points. We have another that played 20-0.
Alltså i mitt huvud så är det just kanske det initiala. Vad vill vi göra? Och jag tror att hade jag gått fram då hade jag haft samma så här,
Jonas was on a question.
Och just det här, vem flankar vem? Jag är helt överens. Jag tror att vi bägge skulle klara.
This is giving us all great confidence the scores will be correct in the end. Yeah, we have like 3 people double checking everything, so it should be fine. But I'm a bit, the first time I flipped it around where I read the name, so should be fine now, right? Yeah.
nej, det uppfattar jag inte heller.
See if I can get the screen to be correct. We can go by the studio screen, and I will switch this one to the venue. But we had a question, I don't know if you can ask, it was specific about the Invocation of Nehek. It's a special ability, so it doesn't cost any spell casting. Like a level 2 wizard can have 2 spells plus the Invocation of Nehek and cast 2 spells per turn plus the Invocation.
Then we are in the old world.
Yeah, it has to be, right?
That's in the old world.
Yeah, because Invocation of Nehek is a spell
and it's a signature spell.
Yeah.
So you swap it for one of the spells, and then you have to test for it, and the opponent can try to dispel it. And it's much improved in the old world.
Yeah. So it's a spell in 8th.
And it's a command ability in the old world.
Yeah, which can't be dispelled.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. So
That's
there you
the
have I promised Sug RV to come back with an answer, but
Sugar V.
I would say it's missing an letter
okay.
but I'm not sure. But we had someone Fantasy Gaming Studio. We have to check him out. He paints up a few. He has I think it's a YouTube channel where it says
it looks like in paint.
Yeah, Warhammer FGS. So I'm gonna check it out this afternoon.
Yeah,
because we talked a bit about his favorite was Skaven as well. So we've bonded quite good over here.
But yeah, try to link it in the chat as well, so that others can like. Our channel is mostly like for the sake of the hobby. We kind of think it's fun, and if there's anyone that wants to bounce off us, just let us know.
We're not in any ways experts, but we have a ability to discuss rules for 10 hours straight. So I think we can bone it out and come to a conclusion. Fredrik Augustsson question: I live nearby. Is it okay to come by and have a look at
definitely.
Yeah,
there is one thing. The venue is locked, but if you contact contacta at dalaslaget.se, or if you write to their Facebook page, or if you just let us know by the chat, then we can sort it out.
Behind this screen is like, I can turn the camera around if I do this.
You're most welcome, Fredrik.
Yeah, The cave-looking thing, that's the entrance. So I just have to run like 25 steps, and then I can unlock the door for you. So it's all good. You definitely, if you have the possibility to come by, do it.
Yeah, sugar. Or Sug RV. It is the old wall. Then it is the as you described it.
Yeah,
and I think it's a super good ability. It might be a smart move that they moved it to command ability, because the army in 8th edition is so dependent on that spell.
It is.
So if you have an opponent that has a level 4 or even a level 5, that's the worst case scenario, where they just dispel it each turn.
Yeah.
Then it's such a different game to play.
Yeah, it's a bit better. I would guess Andre, he looked like a child in a candy shop the first time he rolled it. Oh, this is a command ability, you can't dispel it. Rip, more models.
He actually had one mistake, and I have to point this one out. It's not huge, but he got so many more additional models that he actually ended up in a marching column.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen a bit of a snake move, but you can have a marching column by just having one extra model.
Yeah.
So you're depending on
let's say you're
moving
5-5.
Yeah, you're 5-5 and you put one extra model, so 26 models, and then you're moving up as far ahead as possible, and depending on someone to shoot out one model, so you can charge your next turn.
I don't think that's a snake move. I think that's clever.
It's clever, but
it's really clever.
It's a bit of a of a trap. You really have to think through. But I don't want to shoot him, because then he'll be able to charge me.
And at the same time, that player then says, "Okay, if I get to keep all of my models and you don't shoot me, that's also fine."
Yeah.
So it's like a double-edged tactic.
Yeah, I've talked a bit about it. It's I think it was Fantasy Gaming Studio. He said he was only playing 8th, but I'm leaning a bit towards there's nuances and small differences that make a huge difference. Like once you get into it and you start thinking about the consequences of your actions, it's a hugely different game.
Yeah, and it's really interesting, like that we are still like trying to learn it.
Yeah.
And perhaps that is part of why I also think that 8th edition is such a solid game system too, because then you have people that are very knowledgeable. So we're heading into time.
Yeah, they're breaking for it's the 30-minute mark. No new rounds. So this is the roundup of the finish your rounds and report the scorings.
Yeah. And continuing on the previous discussion, I also think that 8th edition is a really good system, especially for tournaments, because when you are playing casually, you can most often work out the rule together. If nobody knows, then you try your best at cracking how should this actually work out, or you can always roll a dice on it. Yeah. But in a tournament setting, it is kind of much more on the line, and you really want to get things right for the sake of others as well as your game.
Definitely.
So
I noticed, and I commented on that. Almost the first thing you did with your opponent Andreas, I think.
Andre.
Was that you decided almost instantly, are we measuring from the tray?
Yeah,
the base?
That was a good call on his part. I really liked that.
That was it set the tone in a way that I really enjoyed. and you agreed there was something I think it might have been on the highest table where they just placed the unit and explained, is it out of the charge arc? Yes.
Yeah.
And what is the value I need to be in the charge arc and so on. Playing by intent again.
Yeah. Makes it much more clean.
And I would say at least out of the 3 tables that I've had my eyes on, it's been going flawlessly.
Yeah.
There was one instant where they looked up a rule, both of them, and it was just, can you quick to fire, or can you do the stand and shoot thing? Yeah. That's it. That's like a stupid rule if you have the throwing axis 6 inches. It was that instance.
But then you get the you get the quick to fire.
You get the quick to fire and you get to stand and shoot.
It sounds like a good rules name, but it so rarely comes into play.
Yeah, it's like that instance.
Yeah.
But we have, I can see the venue if I do that.
Yeah.
And it looks,
I think that the games are going to
I would
the
say
end stage.
Andre is done.
Looks
Would
like they
be
are
really nice.
calculating.
Yeah. And there's one more table in the far edge that is done as well. That's not the one that's got reported. There we have two guys shaking hands. That's Erik in the black shirt, responsible for the terrain, the fantastic terrain.
Yeah, definitely a shout out to them. And you should check out the what are they called? North.
I think I have them on the dual screen, right?
Yeah, on the
Or
image slideshow.
image slideshow. Then our mic will disappear.
North concept. Absolutely gorgeous terrain pieces.
Yeah.
You can get your STL files there. You can get. I've spoken to Eric, and he kind of hinted that he wanted to make some tutorial videos and guides on how you can get them to look the same as his.
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday because he has printed a lot of the terrain here by his own design, and he has done like the touch-ups, the painting and the flocking and stuff. But he said to sell them as is so hard to get the
profit
the löpande band, like the manufacturing in order. So it's easier to sell them, print them at home, and do as he instructs.
Yeah, and that's one of the upsides of like this new like 3D portable world that we live in, where 3D printers are a thing actually. Like you don't need to wait for the shipping company to deliver. You just download it digitally and then you just make your own. And it's kind of fun to make your own. I've actually experimented with it, and there's lots of things to learn. I kind of like. I don't say that I want to say that I had like predetermined like judgment on the train community, but I always thought it was a bit nerdy. But man, they are skilled.
Train.
The miniature trains and.
Like scale trains. Yeah, they're
such a good like resource for finding out how to build terrain pieces.
Yeah, I've seen because they are actually aiming for accuracy.
Yeah,
they're going for 100% with the scale, the toning, the lighting, everything. They are insane.
Yeah, but it is nice to play. Like that is like the dot above the I when you get to a tournament setting, getting to play on all these nice tables. There isn't like a single terrain piece here that doesn't have paint on it, that doesn't have like a good like placement that affects the table. Everything
it's
just
thematic.
Improves the experience.
Definitely. And Eric also has a keen eye for building tables, like physically placing terrain on strategically good places.
Yeah, the one that
I think I played on one table out of 15 that was bad, and that was when you place like a large tree in the middle and you just divide the army into two. That's
I kind of remember
not my favorite, but it's different.
Yeah, there was like this huge cemetery and the big tree, and then you couldn't like get two units side by side through the center.
No. What's it called?
Yeah, choke point.
Choke point, exactly. And that's not my favorite, but still, it's fun to mix it up sometimes and not get taken for granted that you can do the stuff that you planned.
Yeah.
I think we have another reporting coming.
Oh, nice.
Now let's see.
Let's register.
See if we can do this
Another
correct.
20-0. Heavy hitting.
You play Mikael Nyberg, Kristoffer Wikström. Yeah. Let's see. 20 to Kristoffer, 0 to Mikael.
That's a lot of 20 zeros. I think there's like five tables, 20 0. Yeah. Each one trying to like upend in kill points the other.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
2,748.
So we have 5 out of 6 is 20 to 0 right now.
Seriously?
Yeah. Wow. And it's only battle line, like it's not because the other scenarios are more likely to get 20-0.
Yeah.
Oh, well played, well fought.
Yeah, well played.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You can. Yeah. Now we are 2 people double checking. So we have C, Mikael Bay.
Visst är det samma?
This one.
Ja.
It's the same game. 20-0, 400, 27,
Ja, det behövs.
Ja, men det är bara dubbelkonto. It checks out. Thank you. So, 6,
played.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 6 is 20-0.
Yeah, but it makes sense that the ones that finish early is the 20-0 results. Makes sense.
Yeah, the first 3 were 20-0, but I mean, let's see. I'm not sure what Christopher and Mikael were playing. What armies? No, I know. It was Skaven versus Dark Elves. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I have a picture
okay,
of
that
the...
Skaven army is the one with the double hell pit abominations.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I have a picture when I went around the venue where it... I went past them and it caught my eye, like they have the Cauldron of Blood with all the witch elves against the Screaming Bell with all the storm vermin. Straight up, and then it was just chaff around the table. I looked at them and I said, "You had to do it, right?" Yeah, we had to do it. So, but it turns out the Cauldron it was stronger in that case.
Yeah, I think
figured.
Cauldron is absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
You really need to get the best dice possible to beat it.
And I went by Andre's table,
Yeah.
and he was
also fighting the Cauldron of Blood.
He was also fighting Cauldron of Blood, and he was confident, like, Lizardmen, they can bang it out if I get the spells.
Yeah. But did he get
Spoiler
the spells?
alert, I don't think he got the spells, because turn 3 I went past his table, and his whole block of warriors was on the side of the table, like, what are you doing here? And he pointed at the Cauldron, and just nodded, yeah, what can you do? But I think he got it out in the end.
Okay, so
yeah.
he has battled it.
I think he powered through.
Temple Guard coming in.
Yeah,
perhaps.
something happened, because when I looked back and the game wasn't finished, the Cauldron was off the table as well.
But were
So
the witch elves
that's gonna be
standing?
No.
Witch elves, okay.
Yeah. So I'm a bit excited to see what Andre has to say about his game as well. And Mons, I've been following. He's straight around here. I can see if I can switch around to him. We'll have it.
We had Anacron saying something in the chat as well.
Yeah.
Let's respond. 20 series is much more common in Triple Crown comp. Yeah, I think so as well. But in the bigger UK tournaments as well.
Okay. Yeah.
I haven't really reflected on it. I seldom get that. Like, it was, for my sake this time, it was a miscast on the Wizard. That sucked.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that
yeah.
live, and I was like, why does it have the big template on a hell cannon? Oh, this is the magic face. Like, it's never good to have the big template in the magic face. Almost never. At least if you're pointing it on your own units.
But it might be the case, Anacron, that it is like more common. I don't know.
Feels like that.
Do you have any input on why it is more common in Triple Crown, or is it just that people who play Triple Crown want to play more competitive list and therefore push themselves to the edge more?
It might be, but I think not getting points for half units and so on makes a huge difference.
Yeah, so it's like one winning side can like conserve points.
Yeah, the conserving of points. I'm not a huge fan of that actually, because if I've managed to destroy 80% of a unit, I would like some points for that, because that can be all I can do. And like with the Death Stars, for example, if you have 1,000 points and I almost kill it.
Yeah, one model standing
should be. Not the full points, but at least half. That's my take on it. Why it goes to 20-0 so often is because the losing side doesn't get points for the preserved units.
Yeah, and perhaps you are incentivized to like go hard against each other, because knowing that if you don't kill everything, then you get nothing.
Yeah,
could be. Like then you might as well risk it all. Try to get that kill, because that might push you over like the winning side.
Definitely, but. I was also glancing at Mon's table, and I would say for at least 3 turns they were just staring each other down.
Yeah.
But now
it looks like things have been taken off the table, but looks like the white lions are still there.
I'm gonna throw a eagle eye on the table.
Get some. The downside of a bad comp is not really that big in Triple Crown. You may lose the tournament, but you can crush your opponent in 4 out of 5 games when taking a minus. Yeah. Like you're saying that if you pick very strong lists, and even if you have minus 11, then you can make it up by going hard against the opponents. Yeah, that's probably an aspect of it, I think. That's good insight.
Here we have him, the man of the hour.
Where am I?
Do you want to swap seats? Then we get
I
some
don't know.
input.
Can I get an interview with the man? Now I have to know.
Hello, everybody.
This is Mr. André. I'm just gonna turn around and summarize the High Elves versus the Dark Elves. You see a Cauldron of Blood standing, and he has a small unit on each side of the pillars. So it's looking good for the High Elves and Mons in extension. But back to the most important game of the day that I'm really thrilled to hear about. I saw you in turn 3 and you lost all your warriors. Is that right?
Yes, turn 3 the warriors went away to a Cauldron of Blood. The Cauldron of Blood is evil, and I don't know it's a Hellbrawn stood on the Cauldron. She survived the entire game, but I got my revenge later on. Are you the secretary?
Yep.
Okay. But it was a good game. We got 9-11. I got 11. It was actually a girl called Jenny who played the Dark Elves. She was very friendly, very good with the rules, polite. We both made a mistake and we took it back. So it was a very good game. Good start of the tournament. Good atmosphere. Yeah, I have nothing really to complain about. Perfect start. Or a perfect start would be 20-0 maybe, but it was a very fun game, so it was a good start. I
like to have Niklas.
Yeah. I wish I had taken the Hellbrawn off the table, but I didn't. And I don't think that you get any points for the chariot if you take. I don't know.
You get no half points.
No half points, but it.
No. We discussed it. Why is there so many 20-0?
Why?
Could it be that you don't get half points?
Yeah. But in the same way, if one unit stays, 20-0 is still hard to get. You have to kill a lot.
The first 5 out of 6 were 20-0.
I think that's.
You are not allowed to check the scoring
okay,
sheet.
Sorry. I'm not allowed to check.
It's not over there. I've put it down, but I have to report them as well.
You have to report me for looking?
Yeah, I have to. It's a withdrawal of 6 points or 1 Lingonsnus.
I can get you a Lingonsnus.
Yeah, but you had. I was a bit distracted. What was the end score of your game?
11 to me and 9 to her.
Really?
Yes.
So you turned it around. I was talking to Jonas 10 minutes ago, and I saw you powered through. You lost a lot of the units, and I saw when I looked back, I saw you lifting away a dinosaur. I was like, it's not going well, but you powered through. Was it the magic phase that turned it around for you?
The most of the units that I start to sacrifice units to Hellbrawn, so she got to kill weaker units, but in the same time I kept shooting at her, and my VIP of the game, without a doubt, was the salamanders. So I have a unit with 3 salamanders, 3 salamanders, and you put the template, fire template, strength 4, automatic hits on witch elves.
Yeah, because you got the Cauldron out. I saw when you lost the warriors, the Cauldron was left with 10.
But
15 witch elves.
But on the Cauldron you have Hellbrawn, and she was the general, and she survived. I killed killed all the witch elves, killed the Cauldron, but the Hellbrawn, she survived. And
that's super nice. For her, preserving those points.
It could have been probably, I don't know, maybe 300 points more, but that doesn't matter. It was a superb game actually. I think she had fun, so I'm happy.
Yeah. Now I see the guys over there are eating
Yes.
pizza. They've
I don't know what
ordered.
you have talked about, but I think you need to
I have
start
not.
thinking of closing the stream, and you and me can go and eat.
Yeah. but
Do you dare? That
I-
game is over.
Yeah, I kind of want to report them as well, and then get.
You report it to the stream, so they know who won. Or knows,
Yeah, the
they
stream
the-
knows more than you.
That's not fair.
It is fair.
You
And
can.
I might as well ruin your day. If you look at the comments, Asaro has sent a very nice.
Ruin my day with comments.
He has a comment over there.
Good
Ask
luck,
how he
guys.
likes Sabertusk. I should remind you of your game of Britonia versus Ogres.
Asaro. Yeah, we had a game last time I was at this tournament. I played against a very nice player, very good player, Asaro, who played for 10 Island Gaming, and he asked me what I think about Sabertusks. And we have a kind of a half an episode of our podcast that we have dedicated to Sabertusks, where I tell everybody in the world that I think it's horrible. They're so nasty.
It's on your shit list, basically.
Yeah.
After that, it's been in your nightmares most likely.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Playing a Britonia and against someone who has Sabertusks, that's they're so good. I wish I had one. Maybe that's the issue. I'm envious of the Ogre Kingdom.
Yeah.
I don't have an Ogre Kingdom army, so all my armies.
You had one.
I had one.
I know
okay.
that.
I know I had one, but I sold it. So
Regret it?
a little bit. I thought they weren't that fun to play. I had 4 Sabertusks, but I never played the Sabertusks.
No.
Now in hindsight, I know that you have to play with the
You
Sabertusk.
learn as you go, basically.
Yeah.
But we are waiting for basically Mons to report.
Yep.
I heard something about 13 to 7. So
Do you
now,
know
now the even scores.
what time is next match? Do you know that?
Do you have, if I do a quick sweep over here to info?
13. So okay.
So we have 1 hour
70
and 20
minutes.
minutes.
I would like some food.
Yeah, me too. But we're not gonna stream the second game. I'm
Yep.
gonna more of like take the temperature of the room and try to summarize standings.
We talked
Make a
about
little
this on the trip
statistic.
here. We knew that it might be that Martin would be on his own talking,
Yeah.
and that's
hard.
it's hard to talk and be funny for 3 hours.
I wasn't funny at all. I tried to summarize what's going on and try to switch between cameras when something was
And
not
if
happening.
you actually try to be funny, I know what kind of humor that is. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
not
appropriate
PG.
for
No,
either way.
might as well back
So
off.
I guess we've been live for 3 hours, and everybody watching have been thinking, what is he doing? So
Basically, yeah.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna shut the stream off and take the last game of the day, and before that maybe have pictures and things to show.
Yeah, on the downtime we're gonna summarize basically the event so far and take a lot of pictures on the armies that we haven't had and put them on our what's it called, image slideshow.
Is that the live stream?
No, it's super delayed by some reason. I have the live stream on the phone.
Okay,
just
that's
to
the
be able
live.
to see. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so it should be a 10-second delay.
See, that's happened to me last time you stream. My
Yeah.
stream got super delayed.
Yeah, something is going on. I don't know. Yeah, this is the problem.
Yeah, but
Now it's live.
Yeah, but I did that multiple times and kind of
Yeah.
went back,
So if I wave over here,
and it takes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
going
15
to.
seconds something. 12-15 seconds delay.
But you are waiting to get all the games.
Yeah, I'm not. No, that should be Niklas Job.
Yep.
So I would like to call over Mons, if we can see.
I can pick Mons and then we go eat.
We can turn the camera to him. this one.
Need to turn it, and then we can.
We have a
Can we?
setting named Mons, but he has moved out of the picture. So
Can
we
we?
have to turn?
And then we zoom into his family parts.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
not Mons.
No, he is
He played.
right in the
That
way.
player played like Wood Elves last
There
year.
we have it. And
Okay.
he's back.
I can take him here, and you can have a chat maybe.
There we have the hair. It's the hair of a champion, perhaps.
Yes.
I'm not sure yet. But talk to Mons. We'll see what's going on.
See if I
Jonas
can
is
get it.
sipping coffee as well. It's on camera. It's on camera. Så. Hur gick det för er? Har du gått till? Okay, so Mons had a narrow victory. Mons had a narrow game with 13-7. So with that, I would say we are gonna end the stream and start eating food. 2 seconds. So thank you for this time, and we'll see you at 5 o'clock again. Let's see. Bye bye.